Hello wonderful viewer, welcome back for mission 7 of the Terran Broodwar AI playthrough of the campaign. We'll jump right in here. This is the second of 2 no-build missions in this campaign. So we start off with 9 Marines that will blow open this door, enter in, and fight the enemy Marines within, which we are actually blessed with RNG this time, as normally you only start with like 8 Marines, but in this case we managed to hit the RNG number that says we start with a full 9. Like I don't really know what determines that. It's just like how the engagement flows out of that initial door, but we are better for it since we have an additional Marine to come with us throughout this entire mission. This mission, we're pretty much completely at the mercy of pathfinding, as units will try to move around each other in these narrow hallways towards the objectives that I have set down. And this is like mission 2, where I have a series of checkpoints that the units are moving to, and when they reach one, it sets up the next one. So we are going through. We lost a Marine here to this engagement, which isn't a big deal because we had an extra one from the beginning. So we're actually pretty much in the same position we would be most of the time when we're starting. The Marines will come to this Terran beacon, and then we'll sit and just wait because it's impossible to move forward until after this interaction is complete. The civilians come out, we try to extort the password out of them. We'll kill 2 out of the 3, the last guy gives us the password, and then after a short amount of time and like a little jump cut, this door will open, and then we're able to pass through. So the units are given the green light, we're going to try to pass through, and then in a moment the door will open. So the next section, and here you can see our objective is go find Stukov. The next section over here, we move down this ramp, we don't attack down this ramp, because if we shoot this civilian, he'll actually path down to this Goliath down here. There are a bunch of Goliaths that are unaligned, and if the enemy civilians move close to the Goliaths, they'll gain ownership of them. And the whole idea is like you have to kill the enemy pilots before they get into their vehicles. But if we were to attack down this ramp... Oh, we missed one. Oh, that's a shame. Now we have to fight a Goliath. That's alright. But if we were to attack down this ramp, our units would shoot that civilian and push him over to this Goliath just naturally as he tries to avoid the fight. And then the enemy would immediately get a Goliath, and we have to fight him while we're also trying to move over here to fight the civilians that are moving out. So it just leads to like this awkward situation where oftentimes we miss gaining possession over a lot of the Goliaths because we shot that one civilian over here. So instead, it's a move command that gets my units to the bottom of this ramp. Then we flip to the attack, we blow up this defensive turret, and then we start moving around. So the Marines will walk to each of the little stations and gain any Goliaths that we may have missed before they make their way forward to snag an SCV that is over here. This is an interesting encounter because, and the reason I don't bring all of the units is because the Goliaths will just kind of shoot the civilian dead on sight, and we don't get control over this SCV, so I just have the Marines run past the civilian, he hops in the SCV, and then we gain control of it, and the Marines will bring it back to the group. And then after the Marines reach this point back here, everyone will begin to path forward once again. So the SCV is going to try to repair the Goliaths as best he can, but I didn't want the Goliaths to like sit and wait for the repairs to happen, so the SCV is just trying to do it on the move, doing what little he can here and there. And this is what I was talking about with the pathfinding, like everybody's trying to move around various units, and it just leads to like a lot of bouncing and suboptimal pathfinding, and it leads to a lot of unnecessarily lost units that are pushing too far ahead. Fortunately, we have Terran to soak up the majority of this fire, so we're keeping our 4 Goliaths alive, which is important because the Goliaths are 3/3, and they by far do the most damage and are able to take the most punishment out of all the units that we have access to. Oh, this Marine's probably going to die. He's too far forward. Oof. Well, that's the last of our Marines. Fortunately, we still have 4 Goliaths as well as Terran. We'll be able to finish this section without too much issue. So the units will come here. They'll do a short wait as they group up, and then they will begin to path forward into this final section before we reach the first main objective, which is Stukov. So we'll come in here, we'll kill this turret, kill these fire bats, and then we'll come up here, kill a few turrets, and then we will be done with this section. The medics are going to die because there's no more Marines to try to stick around, so they're lost all reason to live. The SCV is going to sit back and repair these units. We're going to cloak Duran and move forward to this circle here. The reason we do that is after this interaction, we're actually able to recruit any blue Terran left on the map. So we leave those 3 Marines alive just because they're extra units that we can, gain the allegiance of and move out across the map. So we don't have the most units in our squad. We've lost a lot of them unnecessarily, but we should have enough to finish the mission. We'll rescue a lot more, and then hopefully we can take some good engagements and kind of make up that difference. This is a lengthy cutscene where we find out that Duran turns out was the traitor all along, and Stukov was, framed for Duran's treachery. So Stukov's going to explain the double cross and how he was trying to do what was best for the UED, and he got killed for it. So after this lengthy dialogue, we will be given a countdown timer. I believe it's 20 minutes of StarCraft time to reach the end objective and turn off a self-destruct sequence. So we'll have to move quickly, but fortunately we should finish with plenty of time. The more dangerous threat to us isn't the time running out, but our units all dying, because like I said, the pathfinding, if units are moving around to the back trying to path their way forward through these narrow hallways, oftentimes the units at the front get killed off, and then our forces are just kind of whittled down until there's nothing left. So hopefully we can overcome this run. Like I said, this is the mission most likely to fail. All of the build missions, we have threats that can set us back significantly, like losing a base or having units get stuck. But for the most part, it's really impossible for us to fail those missions. Whereas this one, it is a lot more likely for us to fail. I've worked very hard to make this as consistent as possible with the checkpoint system, with the delays I've thrown in, with the unit logic, but it is still very fallible. So hopefully this is going to be a success and not a failure, because that would be very unfortunate for us. Dougal's going to order us to go find that override terminal, and then the countdown timer will start. You can see on the minimap our units have already begun moving. We're going to come over here, grab these Marines, and then we're going to continue to path forward. So we have 3 extra Marines, which is nice, and then we'll get quite a few more here, and we'll start dealing with Zerg instead of Terran as our enemy. Grabbing more Marines. We'll brush past that security camera just to see the final objective on the map. Oh, there's an unclaimed medic right there. Is that always there? I swear I've never seen that medic standing there. That is bizarre. Oh, that's probably, you know why? It's probably because we lost our second medic and they provide a replacement one here. Because yeah, it's a rare thing for us to lose our medics, so I guarantee that's why that is there, because I promise you that has never been there before. So now we'll move down this tiny little stairway with our Goliaths and our Marines. We're going to meet another Zerg force here. Hopefully we don't lose too many guys. That we do have a medic on hand. And yeah, oh yeah, we did. One of our Goliaths, and it's bumbling behind, did pick up that second medic, so that's huge for us. Oh, and if these Zerglings had any upgrades at all, we would have lost that Marine, but fortunately they don't. And heals were on point, so we're still going, and we've actually picked up quite a few Marines and haven't lost any, which is a big deal. So right now everybody's going to try to bump into each other as they're getting through this doorway. They're trying to reach this checkpoint right here, and then they will move forward towards the next one. So we will go in and pick up our second to last group of 3 units on this map, and hopefully we have enough to finish it. The Firebats will come in clutch because we're about to experience a lot of Zerglings, so hopefully these Firebats can do some good work for us. So we'll come over here, we'll encounter these units, 2 more medics. We're going to do a kind of a longer wait right here as we just wait for our units to trickle forward. Hopefully everyone doesn't crowd the doorway when that trigger flips. And okay, that was relatively smooth. Sometimes there's like 2 Goliaths that haven't made it in yet, and so they just cluster around the doorway and like this. This was about what I was expecting. Okay, fortunately our forward force was able to deal with the Zerglings that came around that corner. Unfortunately, these guys are going to be on their own versus a pair of Ultralists, as the rest are slowed down by some Zerglings. Here come the Ultralists. These guys are all probably going to die because the medics are all stupid and in the back. The Goliaths are also going to get caught shooting these trapped Zerg. There really wasn't a convenient way to like prioritize the Goliaths targeting these Ultralists and not these Ultralists, so the Goliaths are just going to kill these and then move forward. Fortunately, this next section we don't really need the Goliaths too much as long as we have some bio. There are these floor gun traps which become ours, and we're going to use these to fight all of these Zerglings. The Firebat's going to do great things for us here, as it does splash damage and it specializes in torching Zerglings. So fortunately the Zerg are all trying to like path in, and only a couple of them actually start attacking the Marines at the front. So we're really not in danger just like pressing ourselves up against this doorway. So we're not too scared, and we didn't lose really anything of note here. We'll push forward and fight these Hydralisks. These Hydralisks do a lot of damage because they have +2 range upgrade. So we will lose a couple units here, but fortunately our Firebat remains alive. He won't remain alive for much longer. There's a pair of suicide units around this corner that are both going to come up and absolutely annihilate him. Yep, so poor Firebat, rest in peace, but he did his job. So now we have a few more Zerglings, and around this corner a few more. And then we're going to reach a big fight over here. There's a lot of unclaimed Marines in this darkness over here, and as soon as we grab them, they're going to hook up with their friends, and then there's this massive fight where a lot of these Marines will die, but will come out in the positive for unit count. So, and all in all, we have a very healthy amount of units, so hopefully we can get down this ramp without too much spaghettification, because there's going to be a lot more Zergling we need to face, and we're a little stretched out, which is not ideal, but hopefully this clump at the front will be able to do decent enough work. Yeah, the medics come up and will help keep the remaining couple of Marines alive. Oh, and there was Zerglings that burrowed here that came up later, so fortunately the units at the back were able to deal with those. So we're closing in on the end now. There is a Defiler burrowed over here. He's going to pop up into a Plague. Or not. He might cast Darkswarm. Or he's just going to... Oh, there it is. Okay, the Plague happened. Did hit 2 Goliaths, which is unfortunate, as the Goliaths are harder to keep healthy compared to the Marines. The Marines are healed with medic energy, which is free. The Goliaths are healed using resources, which we have a limited amount and only 1 SCV to do it. But we should have enough to deal with this last wave of Zerglings. We might lose a couple more units, or the medics will just body block everything and we won't lose a single unit. So that was really nice. And then, yeah, we just walk up the ramp, touch the end, and we're done. So all in all, that went rather smoothly. There were some stupid moments, but all in all, it went rather well, and I'm very happy to see that all the effort I went to smoothing out this script worked, and it's consistent enough where I'm not hesitant to show it here, and it's not like a fluke or anything like that. So yeah, that's mission 7 complete. We'll finish off this dialogue, and then we're off to the final mission. Once again, thank you for checking out this video. Finished it in 14 minutes 52 seconds, and I hope to see you next time for the last mission. Have a good one.